Hey guys, so today I'm excited to be doing an updated video about the Notion content calendar template that I have. If you didn't know, about 2 weeks ago, Notion came out with a calendar app, and I wanted to show you guys how you can use my content calendar template with this Notion calendar, because there's a lot of changes and a lot of updates, but I think it actually works really well with the Notion calendar, and it actually allows you to plan out your content and your marketing all together in one place, as well as all of your other to-do lists if you use my life tracker template. So today I'm going to be walking through an update with my content calendar template, how to use it. Let's just get to the video. Make sure to subscribe for more. This content calendar template is $15. You can grab it on my website, or it's part of either the larger bundle or part of Notion Foundations, where I teach you guys how to use Notion, and that's the bigger bundle. So you can just check it all below. Let's head into Notion, where I'll teach you guys how to use this template. All right, so this is what it looks like when you get the template. So the first thing that you're going to see is actually the layout of the content calendar planner. So you can scroll down and see I have some examples here, and I'm going to kind of walk you through how this is all set up. But as you scroll down, you will see we have some quick links to different things that I've set up. We also have our tag and knowledge vault, as well as our marketing goals. So that's kind of the layout of the template. Now, if you click on table, this is really where a lot of the planning goes in. So I've kind of changed this around based off of the fact that this is now the central spot to plan all of your content. So no matter what kind of content it is, if it's email, if it's YouTube, they link to different databases here as a relation, but they all come back and you can pick a date where they're being published. So that way, when it goes to the calendar over on Notion Calendar, you can see everything that's going to be in blue. We will set the calendar to be blue inside of Notion Calendar. This is what it looks like. Let me cut over to my personal Notion calendar so you guys can see an example of what this looks like. So this is an example of what it looks like on my Notion calendar. So you see all the ones in blue. Those are all the pieces of content that I'm coming out, and I haven't even quite gotten all of them this week. These are just a few of the ones. So for example, this video that I'm recording today, February 3rd, will be posted on February 4th. So you can see over here that it is the YouTube content calendar. So YouTube is like the type, right? So I have a YouTube video coming out, and the content calendar template video is what it's called. So I can see this is my publishing calendar. And then this one over here on Monday, this is a video, a TikTok that I'm making, or a reel that's going to be promoting an event that I'm doing. So you can see the time that it's coming out. Over here I have a Chats and Chai, which is the name of a series I do on Instagram. I also have my email newsletter going out on Tuesday. So you can see here that I have multiple event promo videos that I need to go out. These are all going to be on Instagram. And the way that I can do this over on my Notion template is that each individual piece of content is linked to a specific database. So for example, my email newsletter will be in a different database than my Chats and Chai post. And I'll show you guys how to do that. They all come together on the content calendar, but they're in separate databases depending on the content type. So let's walk through that a little bit, how it's set up in the template and how I kind of keep that all organized. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the template. I've given you guys some examples of things to do over here. So you can see we have a long form piece of content, so that could be like a YouTube video. You can see here that it tells the type, so it says long form. Over here it says email marketing. It also shows the status, the day of the week. So for example, this is the, let me click on this, sorry. If you click on this, that is the daily theme. So Monday, maybe you have a daily theme where every Monday you have a theme. And then you've got the actual name of the item that's coming out. So for example, because this is a YouTube video, it's going to be related to the content calendar video, which we'll walk through in a little bit. So this is the best way to do it. So you can see we have a newsletter coming out, we have a business tip, a podcast episode, maybe you have a blog post, whatever it is. This is how you see it all in one space over on Notion, and everything that's reflected into the Notion calendar. So if we see this now in table view, you can see here, this is the blog post. Let's say the blog post is promoting something. What could it be promoting? It could be promoting, let's see. Maybe you have a book that you're coming out with and you're writing a blog post about the book. So the next category you're going to see is going to be called projects or calls to action. Now, if you go back to the calendar, you will see that it also now shows what the blog post is about, or what the reason the blog post exists is there. You can see the published date. You can also see, again, the daily theme. So if it's on a Monday, maybe you have a Monday theme where you do advice on Mondays or whatever. Because this is not an email, we're not going to add anything here, but you can see that it has a blog post. So if we click on the blog post, then here is where you can actually write the blog. So you could have a copy of the entire blog post here so that it's an easy way to find and access it. Let's do the same thing if it was a podcast episode. So if I was going to release a podcast episode, you see the same thing here. You have the type is podcast. Let's say that the podcast is promoting, one-on-one coaching, right? Let's just say that that's it. So now you can see here, it shows what it's promoting, the name of the episode. So right here, we just have example podcast, but if we click into example podcast, you can see here, you can put all of the stuff about planning the podcast or whatever you want about it. So again, you're doing a general calendar that has all of your marketing and all of your content, but each individual type is going to have its own database, and they're all going to be related back to the main planner, which is this. And they're all going to be able to show up on your Notion calendar. So let's go back to table. So we've been kind of going through it. I added this as an easy way to show up in at least the Notion template calendar, what type of thing it is, as well as the status, and if you're linked to any people. So for example, if I was doing a podcast and I interviewed Marie Poulin, which I have actually, you can just add her as a name. Now if I go back to the monthly calendar, I believe it should show up. Actually, it may not show up. So if that doesn't show up, what you would do is you go here, you click properties, and make sure that you show the people. So now you'll see she pops up because I have added her as a property. That sounds terrible. As a Notion property that is going to be linked to who the person is about. So I know just looking at it here, the podcast is going to be about Marie Poulin or interviewing her. Now, unfortunately with Notion Calendar, that none of that information shows up on Notion Calendar. It's just the name. So if you want to name it right, you would do like Marie, right? So when that comes into the Notion Calendar, you'll be able to see it. Does that make sense? So the title of each individual thing is really important. So for example, I maybe wouldn't call this email newsletter. I call it email, and like Feb 3rd newsletter. And that again would show up on the Notion calendar. So you know exactly what it is that's coming out. And it just kind of lets you know, okay, well, I have to have by the 6th of February, the newsletter ready. So this is just a great way for you to kind of track this for yourself. Now, if you have content for specific clients, you can also do that. And I'm going to walk through, this is a new part of the content marketing calendar planner. If you have multiple different, content calendar plans to do, you can now do this with multiple different clients. So let me show you guys how that works. If you are a social media manager of multiple clients and you also want to manage all of your clients in here, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go over to where it says customers, and then you're going to, let's just say you have a new client and the name is Jennifer. Let's just give an example. My name is Jenna, example, Jennifer. So what you're going to do is you are going to go here. You can add information about Jennifer, like email, phone, etc. What you're going to do is you're going to click here. It is a template that's already been made. You're going to click this. And I put the letter X in front of everything. You're going to change that to say Jennifer. So the X is for you to be like, okay, this is Jennifer's marketing goals and campaigns. This is Jennifer's brand assets. This is Jennifer's quotes. And this is Jennifer's hashtags. So let's move into Jennifer's kind of overall area. You can see here we've added a calendar called X Client Content. So what we're going to do is once you pop this open, it won't affect the original template. So we're going to call this Jennifer Client Content Calendar Template. So let's just say, for example, let's go back to table. Let's just say she's doing a podcast that you are producing. You're going to just select the type. This is going to be a little bit more simple because you're probably just going to use the content calendar this way, and you can put all the information this way. Then you're going to have, whatever information you want to add. Maybe this is promoting their upcoming workshop. Let's just give an example. Let's say she's doing a podcast about a workshop. Okay, so if you want to add this to your Notion calendar so that you can see all of Jennifer's content calendar templates, let me show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm back in my Notion calendar, but if I wanted to use a new calendar, all I would do is I would go into this and I would type in, this is what it's in for me. I would add Notion database and I would type in Jennifer, right? So now you see, let's add her here. So now she has been added and it's going to be in gray. So I'm not sure. So if I add, like, let's just give an example. If I have to create a podcast, or let's do a blog post. We're going to change it to be a part of Jennifer's calendar. You see now I have a 9 a.m. to 9:15 blog post. If I go back to Notion, you'll see it will pop up. Watch. Okay. So you see how that popped up. So now I have blog post as a item. It also gives me the time on the published date, and you can see it's now part of the calendar. Let's see, why is this not showing up? Oh, the reason it's not showing up is I have to make sure that the sub items are shown. Okay, so you see how that shows up? So now you can manage multiple different client projects from multiple different Notion databases. You can rename it, and then you can make basically as many as you want. So all you have to do is you just start a new contact and then you add the template, and that's it. It's very, very easy for you to manage other people's. You can add whatever you want. I just wanted to kind of have that be an option for people who are social media managers. If you're just managing yours, you don't have to worry about that, but I just wanted to give that as an option. So as you scroll down, you'll see we have a ton of other resources inside of this template. I kind of want to quickly go through them because I think this video will be helpful for people in the future who are thinking about getting this template and want to know what each individual thing looks like. So let's walk through each of the individual parts of this template so you can see what else you get with the template. So I kind of created this template to mirror the book $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi. He talks about how there's 4 different types of lead generation: warm outreach, cold outreach, content, and paid ads. But in addition to that, I also have people and sort of things that you work with, as well as content marketing. So one of the first things that you do as a content creator, a marketer, a business owner is you have an offer. So if you click on offers here, this is actually a linked view of a database, which is the larger projects tag database, but it's just business projects. So whenever I have an offer or something that I'm promoting, I put it inside of business projects because that's really what you're selling. You can see here are some examples: one-on-one coaching, your Amazon storefront, book, e-commerce, etc. So these are all things that you might be promoting. So this is basically the thing inside of the marketing campaign that you are kind of looking at. So one thing we could do here is we could link this to, and it should already be linked because this is part of the tag and knowledge vault. So if I click on properties, I can actually have something show up, which is the content calendar. So then what you can do is you can see which pieces of content are promoting the offers. So actually, let me move this over here a little bit. So you can see, okay, I have a podcast right now that's promoting my one-on-one coaching, but it looks like nothing else. So I would want to make more content to promote that specific thing. So that's really how offers works, is you are kind of basically, and then over here you can see it's linked over to the marketing goals. So for example, if I want to book 4 new clients a month, that's the marketing goal, and it has to do with one-on-one coaching. And then you can see here the things that you're doing to get to that point. You can also see over here we have linked to apps, so different apps that you might need. So for example, if we're doing a podcast, you might need to use Libsyn, right? That's the podcasting app that I use. So you could even tag that. So it kind of allows you, when you're kind of doing that process, to really be like, oh, I need to use this app, this app, this app, and this app. So that's really something that you could do as well. I might get rid of that in offers. That might not make much sense, but you could have that in there. All right. The next thing is lead magnets. These are things that are going to be ideas for you and what it actually leads to. So for example, your lead magnet might be a resource guide. Maybe it's a PDF, right? And it's promoting your one-on-one coaching, right? So this is going to be something that you're actually creating, that you're sending people to, maybe even from your content. So what we could do is we could even add a relation over back to the content calendar. So let's go into content calendar. Let's show that up. So now we can be like, for example, if I'm doing let's do a real or example topic. Let's just say that you're doing a TikTok, but you're promoting the resource guide, which is going to get you some leads to your email list. Maybe that's what you do instead. So for me, a lead magnet is usually something that's free. It's not an offer. It is something that gets you to promote the offer. The offers should always be paid. A lead magnet is usually free, if that makes sense. So that's something you can do as well. All right, the next section is talking about different ways that you can get leads. So the first one is warm outreach. So these are people that you already know. Maybe you're DMing people. So you can, again, use your CRM and list off people that you want to reach out to. And you can also have like a status over here where you are with reaching out to them. You can add their email, that sort of thing. So that's for warm outreach. Then for cold outreach, this is actually where you can actually, it's actually a separate database completely, but this is for like new people, like a prospect or a list of people that you want to reach out to. You can add things like, we can go over here, we can add an email, a phone number, whatever you want to add so that you have their information, as well as we have the status you can see here. So that's like cold outreach. Then you've got things like content. So this is actually kind of a page that shows all the different pieces of content. You've got things like the main content, the daily theme buckets, content types, hashtags, quote bank. Again, this is for you. This is for your content. You've also got things like, so for example, if I was to open up YouTube, this is actually a list of all of my YouTube ideas. So I've got, and this is just 2024 ideas. If I open this up, you'll see that I have some examples, and then you can see they link over to, I'm actually going to hide these because that's kind of annoying. Let's hide in the view, hide in the view. So for example, this is like my YouTube content that I plan to post for the next year. You can, so for example, my content calendar video is idea coming up, and then you can link that over to the actual name of it inside of the content planner. I don't add dates to this because I want you again to go back to the content calendar so you don't add this into your Notion calendar. You should only be adding one calendar to Notion calendar that has all of the content, because if you start adding a bunch of different calendars, it's just going to get a little confusing. You could do that, but I wouldn't recommend it. I recommend having one main calendar for all of your content and then linking and relating databases to that main calendar. That's what I recommend. You can see that I do that here. I've just found it simplifies everything, and that way you can still have separate databases for each channel type, but then you don't have to import 8 calendars into Notion Calendar. So you got to make it simple. You got to make it easier for yourself. So you can see I've added all of these. You can add more. You can add whatever you want. These are just linked to pages, so you can get easy access to whatever you want. All you have to do is go to the home page and click content. The last category, this is kind of a fun one. I'm actually hoping to do more on this, is paid ads. So if you have an idea for a paid ad, like a Facebook ad or a Google ad, you can type in the ad idea here. If you open it up, you can actually start listing off information about it. You can add the budget. You can add what you're trying to promote. So what is the main offer? Again, that links over to that offers or calls to action with business projects. All right. So if I go back to the content calendar, so we kind of walk through all of that. Then the next step is we are going to go down to here. So we've got customers. We kind of went through this already. These all link back to the CRMs, and these go to some of the different businesses. So again, so if you have an agency that you work with, again, it links back to those pages. All right, the last couple categories. So we've got the main pillars and content pillars. So with pillars, this is kind of just a general overarching 13 pillars that we have. You can see here, you can kind of see that. That kind of is just there. I don't really use it in this calendar or in this template very much. But let's see, why is this not going back? With content pillars, this is something I've used with some of my clients is, it's kind of just the general topics that you talk about. So you can actually use this if you're like, all right, well, I have like a bunch of different ideas for content. You can actually list them out, and then it links over, you can see, to the exact ones on the content calendar. So you would rename these, and then you could even link them to the tag and knowledge vault. You can also link them to what audience that you want to use it for, etc., etc. I'm going to delete this because we don't need that. But that's basically what you would do for that. And then what else do we got? So Marketing goals, which actually you can see down here as well. This is for when you're planning what you want to achieve. So if you want to achieve email subscribers, you can actually type in how many you have, what your goals are, and that's really helpful. You can also go in and you can, link to your website. So I have a bunch of different things, and we'll talk about the knowledge vault in a second, but these are just shortcuts to like your apps or your brand assets. Now, if you scroll down to Knowledge Vault, Tag, and Projects, this is kind of your main hub of all the different topics that you have. So I added an option recently called Active, which these are the things that you might be working on like pretty often. So you want a quick access to them. You can see here it's linking over to the different apps you'd use, the type of offer, etc. You've got things like business projects. We've already gone through that. With clients, again, we've got things like communication memberships, your CRM, testimonials. That's a really good one. So if you ever want a place to store all testimonials from all your clients, if you click open here, you'll actually see a place where it'll actually link from the client or CRM area. So you'll see here, so let's just say John has a testimonial. You can list it here like Jenna was great. Let's just give an example. It links over to him inside of the CRM, but then you have the testimonial here and you can say who wrote it here. So that's really helpful. I actually do that on my own personal one because I like to track my testimonials so I can use them on my website. All right, the content creation category is the largest in this one, obviously. You can see we've got lots of different things. We've got like this is the shortcut to the blog. So if I wanted to open this up, say you're writing a blog post, it will have a shortcut to here. You can start, again, open this up and then you can see it links back over to the content, the main calendar. Same with the email marketing. I also just have different like places where you can put information about different topics. So for example, let's go into this. If you want to store your hashtags somewhere, maybe you have like a hashtag list, you can open that up. You can kind of just explore this. I've really thought of everything that you need. So for here, for example, like if you want to link over to which TikTok and Reel those hashtags go in, there's just so many different things you can do here, but this is really just your hub of where you learn where everything is. So two that I wanted to mention are inside of content creation, you'll see that you've got design and fonts. So if you go into brand assets, let's open that up. So this is where you can store things like your brand fonts, your colors, anything that you need help with or you need quick access. So for example, I'm always looking up the name of my color that I use, and so I have access to that. The other one that I have in here, which is actually super helpful, is if you open up apps, I actually have a database of some of my favorite apps that I just include inside of this. So I just have like a ton of different apps that I recommend with links, and it's just a really good resource. I spend a lot of time on this. So I have a ton of apps for you to check out. You can also add your own as well. So the last part, again, like I mentioned, the outcome goals and marketing, you can add whatever you want. One thing I will add here, as I'm just sitting here, I think it would be good to have the content calendar on here. So basically you're kind of linking that over to what the goals are. So if I type in, or maybe it's already there and it's just not showing up. Let's see if that's true. So if I go to properties, no, it's not there. Okay, let's do relation to main. There we go. So now you can see that I can link to, for example, if I want 1,000 email subscribers, I will do, maybe I do a example topic. Maybe I'm promoting my email subscribers, right? So if I'm linking over to the offer as well, the goal is also to build my email list. So you can see that here. So now also, if I see it this way, I haven't showed up here, but I can add the outcome goals here as well. So I could add example. If I want to let me give an example. So if my YouTube video, right, if I have like a YouTube video and my goal is to hit 1,000 YouTube subscribers, that would be another idea you can add here as your goal. So what's the goal of making this is I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. So that's another thing. So that's now part of this template. I'm kind of editing this as I go. So if you have downloaded this template in the past, you're going to want to download the newest version. So basically just find the original link that you got from the email. And if you have any questions, just email me. My email contact is right here on the bottom of your template, or just go to my website. And this is honestly, like, I'm constantly updating it. So you might want to just every couple months, if you haven't used it in a while, you can re-download and it'll have the latest updates. That's just the thing with Notion templates, is they're always going to be evolving. They're always going to be changing as new things come out. For example, just this week, they just launched this button option. I'm eventually going to use that and put that in this template as well. So as you buy templates, just know you can always re-download them as they get and improve. And so you might be setting up for yourself, and then that's why I come out with these videos, so you can just change and tweak things yourself. You can learn how to change them so you don't have to keep re-downloading them each time. Again, this is a template. You need to figure out how you use it for yourself, and that's really the main goal. So anyways, I hope that this video is helpful. Again, you can go to this link, notion.jenna.com/content, to get this calendar for $15, and it's also part of all of the bundles as well. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this walkthrough of the new updates and how it works with Notion Calendar.